Hey friends, Hadassah Damien here from Ride Free Fearless Money. It is the end of November 2022, which means we are at that time of year when you are about to be asked to unload a bunch of money. Couple reasons that you might be unloading that money. Gifts, or travel for the holiday season, or giving. It's about to be Giving Tuesday, which is the nonprofit, world's response to like Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday and Small Business Saturday, right? All of which you also potentially just gave some money to. I just wanted to give you a framework to think about how you are going to give some of the money that you give. I talk a lot with folks about how to save, how to set up your savings goals. So put those aside for the moment. Let's talk about your giving and your gifting. And I just want to start by saying, of course, the most important thing to do when you're giving or gifting is to work within you what's possible for you. And if money is not possible for you to give, don't sweat it. This is not a call in, all right? For those of you who do have money to give, however, this is an invitation to say, am I doing what I mean to do? Like, am I being in alignment with my intention for what it means to have some money around here, right? So if you're someone who like goes on vacations or kind of buys random crap, especially random crap you don't need and forget about, or if anyone ever gave you some money, like you got an inheritance or things like that, paid for your school, whatever, you're somebody who should be thinking about how you're going to be giving and circulating financial resources back through the world. So that's just number one. And if that's not you, number one, statistically, folks who don't come from financial resources tend to actually give more as a function of percentage of total income than folks who don't. So you might already probably be giving. I don't want this to stress anybody out. What I want us to do though is to be intentional and in charge of what we're doing with our money and not like forget to give or spend all of our money on random plastic crap and then not give money, because giving money is fucking awesome. Giving money is about connection. It's about things you care about. It's about what you want in the world. It's about desire. Giving money is about, it's a form of relationship. So if we want to start to think about what does it mean to be in relationship with what we have, with what's available to us today, wherever you are in your life, giving money can be part of that. And like, we're obviously in this whole economic system that has trained us to try to think like, oh, we shouldn't talk about money. And if I give it, it should be kind of like, because there's something shameful or weird happening. No, let go of as much of that as you can so that you can tap into the part of giving money, which is like, oh, hell yeah, I want to see more of that. Boom, here you go. So grateful that I can give some of this and like elevate what somebody else is doing. Positive energy cycle, right? I want that for you. I want that for all of us. I want that for those of us who are getting some outcomes of giving. So step one is to get clear on the fact that giving is about desire and connection. Right? And it's not about like some perfect connection or perfect desire. It's just about those feelings, right? There is no perfect connection. There's just like deepening connections that we have and making new ones. There's no perfect desire. There's experiencing desire and then experiencing it again. Again, all things that like are attempting to be stripped from us through our very extractive system. We're experiencing in more human full form when we give financially or time or otherwise. Okay, y'all? This is like resisting how capitalism has us thinking about exchange and time and using the tools that we have available to us. Boom. Get down to where this is actually meant to be coming from. Okay. Number two, give what works for you. And so that's going to be different for everybody, different times in your life, different amounts of money that you have available, different other priorities going on. If you're at a time of life where you are like, you've got kids, you've got a lot of bills, you know, there's maybe not like 2 people working in your household, you're going to have less financial resource than a time in your life, or a scenario where there's like 3 partners who live together and there's no kids and there's like money kicking around, right? And all the different scenarios and lives in between that. So people, you could look at your income and decide to give a percent. The average amount of money that middle-class families give is 3%. You can decide if average is right for you, more or less. If you want to give a like percentage of your income, it's great to come up with this number if your ultimate goal is going to be to kind of create long-term ongoing donations. Because what that means is that's going to be you looking at like your monthly or your quarterly like money coming through and saying, yeah, I can commit to giving like a certain amount away. And actually, here's how I'm going to make sure that's going to happen. So a percentage is great if your goal is ultimately like sign up for some subscriptions. You could also look at your holiday gift savings. If you have followed my advice and saved as you've gone for the holidays, you should be able to look at a bank account or like a ledger and see like how much you've saved ahead. And then you should be starting to get a sense of tickets you need to buy, travel you're going to do, gifts, presents that you want to give, etc. And you should be able to look at that number and say, hey, there's actually a bit more in here, whether it's like $40 or $400, right? So you could look at a pool of money that you have and say, oh, I'm going to take a chunk of that. Another version of this is if you want to look at your overall net position, all of the money you've accumulated, or if you got a gift of an inheritance or some other kind of payout this year, this could be a moment to look at that lump sum and say, you know what, I'm going to break off a certain amount. And this is a good approach if you want to do like a bigger move a chunk of money kind of approach. You and you, here's $500, here's $100, however you're going to implement it. This, like just finding a number, a one-time number is a good approach if you're trying to say, all right, I just want to support some local fundraisers and just like throw some money at this, that, and the next thing, right? So you want to look at what's happening for you so you can give what works for you. That's number 2. There's so many things that you're going to think about along the way, but coming up with that number is really, really important because it's going to help you be accountable to what it is you're trying to do. And that number is for now. It's not for eternity. You're not coming up with your giving number for the rest of your life. Think of it as either it's your end of year number or it's your for the next year number if you're on that percentage of my income tip. Okay. How much you're going to give and the specific number, specific, don't be vague. Vague is not going to work. And then when you're going to give it. So if it's part of your income, are you going to give it monthly? If it is a one-time gift, is your goal to give it by the end of the year? There's like tons of invitation to give money before the end of the year. That has a lot more to do with taxes, specifically for people who give enough money that they will sort of like claim those gifts on their taxes. And that is generally people who have more money gifted, like just on the sort of more side. I actually don't remember how much it is, but for the most part, folks don't itemize their taxes that way, unless you're giving tens of thousands of dollars. I want you to be in that position and to be giving that kind of money. If you are, if that's you, then yeah, you want to make your tax, you want to make your gift, excuse me, motivated by a tax calendar. But for the rest of us, you're not making your gift for taxes. It's not, the purpose is not taxes, it's connection and desire. So your timeline, you could get motivated to give by the end of the year. You're not going to get a tax benefit, but what you are going to do is you're going to move money in a certain timeline. So you need to know what works for you, how much you're going to give, when you're going to give. So I would love to see folks move money, the sooner the better. This goes back to this perfectionism thing. Sometimes we get really stuck and we're like, oh, well, I gotta find like the perfect, you know, whatever reproductive justice collective to give money to. Find one. Just find one. I have to find the, you know, like the best BIPOC owned collective food project. Just find one. There's several. There's lots. Move your money. Right? The point is perfectionism is patriarchy, and perfectionism comes from white supremacy, and it makes us think that we need to optimize our like $300 donations or our $3,000 donations. It's like good to move that money, but you're not like building a little mini empire with your couple $100s or couple grand. You are helping, you're being connected, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't make it perfect. Don't get stuck in your mind. Just move some money. If you find somebody else later who's also awesome, move some other money to them. That's the approach. Get the money moved. Especially my resourced friends. You know who you are. And you know that you can do it because you've been doing it. So just give it up, give it up. It's like that ska song, only different because it's about giving. Okay. Right. Make it happen. Don't police the gift. Don't make it be like, oh, it has to be a certain kind of way and I need an impact report. Forcing people who are actually just trying to do community work to do extreme amounts of reporting or expecting that means that you're expecting them to report to you instead of the work that they're actually trying to do. So use your wisdom, use your community connections to understand who's doing good work. But it isn't fair, nor is it kind to yourself or the organization to police it afterwards or make it be perfect, whatever in your mind that's about. So that's the other part. Understand where giving is coming from. It's not actually an exchange. It's about connection and desire. Figure out what works for you. Set a specific number and a deadline. And then don't be a perfectionist cop of your own giving. Just move it so you can go back to step one. Be in connection and desire. Boom. That's what I want for you. It's what I want for me. Happy giving moments to all of you. If you move a little money because of this video, tell me about it. I want to know. I'm about to contribute to this awesome person who is leading a book club that I'm in because she rules and I'm so grateful. So that's my next step. I want to know what y'all are up to with your gifts. So thank you so much. That's Damien from Ride Free Fearless Money. Move some money, do it different, but also get it done.